I mean, here we go. I mean, let's bucket list time for me, Justin. You know this. My guy, Grammy nominee Frank Stallone joins the Kirk Minahan show. Frank, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Life's
Uh,
good.
Everything's good, man. Just
Yeah.
having construction done in my house. I
Okay.
gave my guy a break and I said, I'm doing this show.
I appreciate it.
My
So
pleasure.
going over your going over your history, you know what's wild is Far From Over was a big top 10 hit,
Yeah.
1983.
Yeah.
What's really crazy about it for me, like growing up, so I'm 50, so like I'm Stallone's or like just a
Yeah.
huge part of my life.
Yeah.
So it was always wild to me as a kid that your brother like just felt to me like randomly directed the sequel to that movie. Like it just seemed out of place at the time. Is that fair or
Yeah.
not?
I mean, I think it was kind of a shock to him as well. Uh, because yeah, it just kind of came from left field. He just done, I think he just done Rocky.
First Blood in Rocky 3 the year before, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because he was
Yeah.
still pretty skinny then from Rocky 3.
Yeah, right. Super thin. You're in Rocky 3, of course, obviously,
I
too.
am. I
Yeah.
fight Mr. T and him.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
kind of weird. I'm singing on stage. I write music,
yeah, you're doing
and
it
I'm
all.
fighting. I fight Mr. T, and I fight. So it's like I was the singing heavy bag, you know?
Let me ask you, as a Rocky 3, I mean, when I tell you Rocky 3 is, I know every line in Rocky 3 word for word.
Yeah.
How does Rocky Balboa, the heavyweight champion of the world, not know who Clubber Lang is when he shows up at that ceremony with the like he had no idea who he was. He was a number one contender. Was Mickey
I
keeping
was
him in a
more
cage at that point?
I was more surprised because of Rocky 1 and 2. He'd probably be. I guess he'd be in a home for punch drunk guys, but
I
he's
mean,
three.
Jesus. Yeah.
He has no scars. He's articulate. So I
Right.
think it punched him into sensibility
Yeah,
because,
he speaks differently, but then he speaks the same way again, and he goes back in Rocky 5 to the Rocky 1 and 2 voice.
yeah, I think he had pugilistic dementia. It went in and out. But I said, Sly, in Rocky 3, you have no scars. Your hair's perfect, and you speak like George Plimpton. How'd that?
What does he say?
Well, it's movies, you know. Yeah, yeah. It was really kind of. It was the whole thing was staying alive
Yeah, yeah.
was bizarre for me. I mean, as you know, you saw my doc.
It's great. Yeah.
Thank you. I started in 1965. So by 1983, I'd probably had 19 years in of just playing bars and, playing for $25 a night. I had a band. We were on RCA. We did all the
Hmm.
shows, Mike Douglas rock concert, Midnight Special. And then all of a sudden, everything fell apart. And I was in New Jersey at that time. And then I went from being on all these TV shows, Dinah Show, Rocky, and everything. And then I'm playing at the ground round for like $30 a night by myself.
Right.
Broke up. And and my brother said, "Well, go west, young man." And I said, "Okay." So I drove out to California, and nothing was really happening. I did a single, a Joni Mitchell song called "Case of You." It went to like 85 on the chart, so nothing
Yeah.
was really happening. So I was just playing as a solo act with the piano player in bars and stuff, and writing songs. And then when I found out "Staying Alive" was coming out, I didn't right away, I didn't know he was going to be the director. But when I found out, I got in touch with him. I said, "Do you think I could get a song in there or something?" And he said, "I don't think so because the Bee Gees, it sold like 26, 52 million
Right.
albums,
Yeah, it was a double album, right?
double album, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
26 million double albums, yeah.
Right. 50
So,
million.
and
Yeah.
I'm figuring if I get like a song in there and it does anywhere near there, I mean, I'm set.
Right.
So, so I guess he tried to placate me and he said, "Well, just go write some songs." So I had a band, I put a band together and I went in the studio. I just started writing songs. It was like a stream of consciousness. And I wrote all these songs. And of course, when I finished them, I come to the set and I play them in the office for, this. And so they all got turned down, basically. And then all of a sudden, the Bee Gees decided they didn't want to do the movie anymore because I think someone said something about their music, how it was kind of the same from Saturday Night Fever and blah, 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 blah.
Hmm.
So then my brother called me up. He goes, "Yeah, remember those songs you wrote?" I go, "Yes, I do. You rejected every one." Yeah, I do remember that
Yeah, yeah. Right, right.
So, the next thing we had a meeting. He goes, yeah, well, the Bee Gees dropped out. We offered it to Billy Joel. We offered it to Hall and Oates, and they turned it down. So your music was pretty good. I said, now it's pretty good, right? Okay.
Right.
So then we met with John Travolta. I think I talked in the documentary, and
Yep.
yeah. So unbeknownst, he said, "Don't say who it is. I'm just going to play him the thing while we're having lunch." And John's listening. He's going, "Wow, man, this is like, wow, this is really cool." He goes, "Who did this?" And he points to me. He goes, "Frankie." And like John looked at me like in this astonished look, like I was there just as kind of window dressing, like
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah, yeah.
Next thing you know, they just started adding songs into it, and the only bad point I felt about that, I was writing with two other people, but
Hmm.
most of the songs I basically wrote by myself, and I had to share some of the publishing. Maybe someone added a word or
Yeah,
something.
I was gonna ask. So Far From Over, you have a co-writers with a composer.
Yeah. Well, I wrote the song. I
You
brought the song there,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I
So
was saying, play
yeah.
this, da, 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 da. I want, and he's a great pianist, and all I'd say
Mhm.
he's not like a songwriter like I am. He's more
Right.
into Emerson, Lake and Palmer and that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Wrote all the lyrics to the song, and and I said, well, let's do it this way because, of course, I was paying for a session, so I was the producer, and I was the only link to the movie.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
So, long story short, they got a lot of credit where maybe credit wasn't due. Was writing with them. So after that, I didn't write with anybody for a long time.
I was always interested in that in the from a publishing perspective. So in '83, that goes top 10. It's one of the 100 biggest songs of the year on the Billboard
Yeah,
chart.
yeah. Uh-huh.
So back then, I bought the 45, but everyone's buying stuff back then.
Yeah.
What kind of checks are you getting in '83 for hits for like a hit song? Nowadays, people say you get nothing. Like back then,
Well, I
are you
mean,
making a killing or?
when I wrote the songs, I'd get checks like for writing the song
Yeah,
for like $3,000, but that was a lot of money. I was broke. I had no
yeah,
money. Uh,
yeah,
so then when the record took off and stuff, then the bigger checks came in, the bigger
yeah,
royalty checks came in. And I was supposed to have the follow-up single, Never Gonna Give You Up, but the Bee Gees had a previous contract where they had to have the second single. So or second two singles,
yeah,
and those two bombed. And by the time they were released, Never Going to Give You Up, too much time had gone by. So if
yeah.
they were released, Never Going to Give You Up, right at the at
Been
that
a
point,
hit.
yeah, it
Yeah,
would have probably it did well AOC Adult Contemporary,
yeah.
but yeah. So, but the thing is, with publishing, it's weird, and you can always tell if you look at their songs that they write
Hmm.
and you look at my songs I write, I have a certain signature to my songs. And if and so but I've written with people if they're there just playing along, say, well, play this. So let's try this, let's produce this. I don't think that's writing. That's
Right.
like with arranging. Writing is when you're doing the nuts and bolts, the music, the lyrics, or if
Yeah.
someone comes to you with a whole tune and you write the lyrics, okay, fine, like Elton John and Bernie Taupin.
I was gonna say that's a good example of like a
Yeah,
non-lyrical collaboration.
yeah,
Bernie
because
Bernie does the music and Elton does Bernie does the lyrics and Elton does the piano.
yeah, or
Yeah, yeah.
like Rogers and Hammerstein
Sure.
or
Yeah.
Twin Brothers. But the
Yeah.
other thing, it's just a lot of gray area in it. Like, well, I added that word. I said, so that equals 50% of the publishing.
Right.
So
Right.
I kind of soured me. And the funny thing is, most of these guys were just knocking around. I mean, I had the access to do Staying Alive, and after that, never heard from them again. I said, hey,
Oh,
let's go.
really?
Never heard from them, and that's almost maybe once or twice in 40 years.
Yeah.
So yeah. So the thing is, but I've gone on with my life, and I do my thing, and I was, and I regret that I didn't stay in the music as much because all of a sudden I started getting movie offers, and I basically
Hmm.
started at the bottom. I mean, I did these little small movies, and then
Sure.
then when Mickey Rourke wanted me for Barfly, but I had
Yeah.
to audition. It
Yeah.
wasn't like they gave it to me. I had, and I get a lot of people that'll say, "Well, you're hanging on your brother's coattails." I said, "Partner, in 50 years, if in any of my involvement in my brother's movies, I've had a paragraph or less of dialogue and maybe a minute of screen time. 50 years, so I don't think that really
Yeah. Yeah.
makes.
You're not. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
it's not.
not. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Tango
it's
and
not a
Cash is not
career.
you. Not you and your
Yeah,
brother.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a
Yeah.
career. That's not a
Right.
career maker. But I mean, listen, being in Rocky One was fantastic, and it was the little movie. We got paid $140 each for it. I mean, it was a little movie, so we didn't know. And then the next year, it's nominated for 10 Academy Awards, and it just went on and
Do
you
you,
know,
do you remember
legend.
the first time he ever mentioned the movie? He was thinking about writing it, like
Yes,
the genesis of the idea. Did you think right away this
yes.
is a great idea or no?
Well, I didn't really know. I know he wrote scripts. I thought his scripts were really good, but
Yeah,
he was just a knock around actor, that wasn't really doing anything at that point. He did a Kojak, a police,
bananas and
yeah,
yeah,
Bananas,
yeah,
Prisoner, but little parts. And then
right,
he called me when I was living in Trenton, New Jersey, believe it or not.
yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, I'm writing a boxing movie." Go. He's like, "Hey, maybe write some songs." I said, "I have no idea how to write a boxing movie."
Yeah.
I was like the hair down to my shoulders, rock band kind of guy,
Yeah, like who
right?
was your? This is a great. I want to hear the rest of it. But like, who was your growing up? Like, who were your influences musically? Was it because I mean, you might think of like Take You Back. Is it more doo-wop stuff or was it?
That's very interesting. In the early 60s, yes, it was a lot of
Yeah,
doo-wop. It was like, Frankie Lyman, the teenager, little
sure,
Anthony. So when we go to dances in those days, we went to dances. There was no alcohol. There were like, high school dances,
right.
places. And we'd go outside and sing and do a cappella music. And
You were like the guys in Rocky when you were you and
yeah,
Rocky when you just walked right.
well,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, absolutely. And that's what it finally said, I like to do something like, you used to do when you'd stand on the street corners and
yeah,
sing
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
type of stuff, at a high
yeah.
voice. I said, okay. So then I wrote Take You Back. I figured something with the kids, take you back, doo doo, I've been told, and
It's a fucking
so
great
that
song.
was
Yeah,
kind of an early, thank you. That was kind of an early influence, the doo-wop. I mean, before that, it was Elvis Presley, the Everly Brothers,
sure.
Little Richard,
Hmm.
the cast
Yeah.
of characters that invented rock and roll,
Hmm.
Chuck Berry, all that stuff like that. So then from there, then we comes 1963, 64. I'm in military school, with the short hair,
Yeah.
drill every morning,
Uh-huh.
reveille, boom, 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 marching in formation. And then all of a sudden the Beatles kind of come out and the Stones and the Kinks. I'm there. What the hell am I doing there? I mean, I'm not,
Right.
but when I was younger, everything on TV was either a Western or an Army TV series or something
Yeah,
like that.
Rawhide or something or
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
but so everyone either wanted to be a cowboy or be like a soldier. So going to military school, my brother went previous.
Hmm.
I mean, it was kind of cool then, you're wearing a uniform, you got your citation cord, you got your dress hat, your
Yeah.
garrison cap. So it was kind of cool. But after about two years or so of that, and then I saw what was going on. Now I'm in a boys' military school in Southern Maryland and founded in 1774, believe it, before we
Yeah.
even the country was founded.
Yeah.
Said, "Yeah, man, I don't think this is my vibe." So I told my mother, I said, I don't want to go here anymore. I just want to
Yeah.
come back." And then that's how I started in the music. But the groups I loved, I mean, I got to tell you, in the early days, my favorite group was the Love and Spoonful. I loved them.
Sure.
Did Be So Nice, Summer in the City,
Yeah.
Daydream on. I
Uh-huh.
loved the Kinks.
Yep.
I liked Buffalo Springfield. I liked the Young Bloods. Of course, you like the Stones. The Beatles, of course.
Yeah.
It's just one thing, but I listened to everything because, at that time, AM radio would play a Dean Martin song, Everybody Loves Some. And the next song, you'd hear Last Time by the Stones or
Yeah,
19
yeah,
Breakdown. And
right.
then you'd hear They're Coming to Take Me Away. All crazy stuff.
On the
And then,
doors or something.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Doors, and
yeah.
then
Right.
Vicky Carr. And then,
Right. It's just
so
wild. Yeah.
yeah, it was wild. So AM radio played everything. So I was Frank Sinatra, Strangers in the Night. And then after that, you'd hear like, Journey to the Center of Your Mind by the Amboy Dukes. So it was a potpourri of music.
Hmm.
And so I liked everything. I listened to Mario Lanza, Frank Sinatra, the Stones, everything.
Yeah.
So because it was there, it was totally accepted. And of course, FM radio when it came underground changed more. Then
Right.
concept albums,
Yeah.
but it was so exciting to drive to school with my friend, my drummer Mark, and listen first time to Day Tripper when
Sure.
it's on the radio,
Yeah.
premiere
Yeah. Yeah.
or Penny Lane
Yeah.
or the Stones like Satisfaction. It was like it's not like it is now. You had the boss jocks. Okay, this song is now,
Right.
and then
Right.
and having these songs introduced in present time. It was amazing because, again, we didn't have internet. We had newspapers and telephones and the 5 o'clock news. That was it.
Yeah.
So it was very, very exciting. Of course, I came out of military school. I went to a regular high school. And of course, I had like a short haircut. I felt like a total dork,
Right.
you know, civvies and stuff like
Right.
that. My stepfather, "I don't want you to grow your hair long. What are you, some sis?" Because everyone was a World War II guy or a Korean War guy.
Sure. Was that? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I was wanting to wear beetle boots. What are you, Barry? I
Right.
said, okay. But that was my thing, man. I dreamed at night guitars that I couldn't afford, or man, I want to get that pea coat like the Dave Clark Five and white jeans with black beetle boots. So it was
Yeah.
like it was to me the greatest time of my life. And then when the 60s, mid 60s came in, when incense and all this stuff came around, psychedelia, which I was not a psychedelic guy.
Right.
It was so interesting because it was like a whole juxtaposed changing of everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was a very exciting time. Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh, yeah, sorry. So I jumped in the middle of it. So he says he's got a boxing movie, and
Yeah.
like the script does change a lot. Like from his initial script, it kind of changes, but a little bit. But the initial, what he
Yeah, I
says to
had
you,
no I
yeah,
had no script. I was just talking to him
yeah, yeah, you didn't know,
rotary phone,
right? And he's
and
and he's nobody at this point. So you're just thinking, good luck.
he's in California. I'm in
Right.
like an $80 a month apartment in New Jersey.
Right.
And I just kind of said, okay, great, and I kind of shined it on. And then all of a sudden I get a phone call. Hey, you got that song? I said, where are you? He goes, we're in Philadelphia. I said, oh, well, thanks for the heads up. Okay. Like
Yeah.
6 months later, you're in Philadelphia. So I'm scrambling to get the song done. And then it was a low budget movie. So they said, well,
Right.
we can pay you guys 140. And we're going, 140. We're getting that a night for our band, but that's also not good money. You got a five-piece band and a
Yeah.
manager taking 20%.
Right.
So
You're losing
basically,
money. Yeah.
you're paying $168,
Right.
168 minutes of music a night, and you're taking home like $19.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so we said, oh, I don't know, man. There's some good-looking chicks at this club we're playing. And then they came back. They said, we'll pay you 140 each. We're going, what? And make
Right.
that in a month
Right.
individually. I said, okay. So
Yeah.
we went down on the street corner and the famous on Tusculum Street, that
Hmm.
famous thing when he walks down his house and he calls us the local jukebox.
Yep.
We were just sitting there on the corner. It was cold, a funky neighborhood, tough neighborhood in Kensington. And we did it and just kind of forgot about it. And
Right.
then the next thing I'm in New York City and I'm walking down when they had newsstands. Now they really don't anymore because no one
Right.
reads.
Right.
And then I saw this Variety. It had a full page picture of my brother. Is this the next Brando or Dean? And I almost had like a heart attack. What? Searched in my pockets to get like 35 cents. I bought the
Yeah.
Variety. I read it, and all of a sudden it's like this thing. And it really started as grassroots. It really only had two theater releases.
Right.
One
Didn't
in
release. Yeah. It did not release wide. Correct. Right. Initially. Yeah.
two,
Yeah. Yeah.
New York and California.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the reviewers said, who's this guy? Because everyone basically in the movie is unknown other than Burgess Meredith, and he's known as the Riddler
Right.
in Batman.
Right.
Which,
Even yeah. I guess Talia Shire had been in The Godfather,
yeah, but you didn't really
but yeah.
recognize.
I was saying she
Like
looks right. Looks totally different. Looks mousy
totally
and
different.
yeah.
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 And
Yeah.
so, so people remembered the Riddler, which had been off air for like 6 years.
I think it was the Penguin actually. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Penguin.
He was on the Twilight
Batman.
Zone episode with the
Yeah,
library.
yeah.
Yeah, with the books.
And so, which I think what the attraction was, I think, threefold. Of course, the bicentennial, the whole theme of
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
the theme of the loser that wants to. So, I mean, it's very, very similar to On the Waterfront. I said, Slice
Yes.
on the waterfront. He goes, hey, steal from the best. Okay. But the character, and I think the thing of that every person kind of just craves, just give me a shot.
Right.
Give me a shot. So it was that. And I think the other thing that made it exciting it was a new face. Who's this guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, before they were saying, hey, how about Ryan O'Neal and Burt Reynolds? Good actors, but I don't think it would have been the same.
No chance. Yeah.
I think if it was done a year later, it might have been different. It was just,
Right.
it was the perfect storm. You know what I mean?
I think what makes the movie is probably maybe my favorite movie. I think what makes it work really makes it work is when he lies down with her the night before and says, I
Absolutely.
just want to go the distance. Like Creed's never gone the distance. I just
Yeah.
want to find
Yeah.
out if I'm a man. Like, can I
And
do this? I'm
yeah.
saying it right now. I get like, it's like,
Well, yeah, because I think a lot of people had that conversation with someone
yeah,
they're laying down with.
yeah,
It's just like, you know, my job sucks. I'm better than the foreman, and I got this lousy position and stuff. So I think that conversation was probably going on, and I think the music, Bill Conti was brilliant. I think the
great.
music. I can't believe he didn't win the Academy Award for Best Song.
Isn't that nuts?
No, a song
Insane.
one from The Omen, which they're not even songs. They're
Oh,
like
that's right. You're right. That's right.
Gregorian chants. You know,
That's right. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's not like, hey man, whistle me something from The Omen. You know,
Right, right.
yeah. So, and then I thought I the Tiger Show won for best song. And
Definitely.
plus, yeah, I mean, if you go back, if you look up where we belong, great song, love
Good
Bill.
song. Yeah, really good. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't compare it to Eye of the Tiger.
No,
They play it
no chance.
constantly.
Yeah.
It's got
Was
like
this
10 billion downloads.
yeah. Knowing, obviously, growing up with him, knowing him,
Yeah.
were you surprised that he didn't take, that he was broke, that he didn't take the money that he was offered and took a chance on himself? Did that surprise you or?
Well, I didn't know that till after.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
well, I guess knowing it, like, does
I
that
think I probably was said $300,000 in 1975, which should be like a
million and a,
million and a half.
yeah,
But I guess, you know, when you go for broke, you figure, well,
right.
at least I could star in it, but I can put my best foot forward. I think that was the thing. And I think when it comes to a point, even though he was 29 years old, I had a kid on the way, my late nephew Sage,
Yeah.
uh, I guess it was the right decision.
Yeah, I think so. I
Go
think
for it.
so.
You know what I mean? It would have been a different movie. And he tells a lot of people, and he says, listen, follow your dreams. But this was one in a billion shots.
Yeah.
So, you know, I get emails sometimes, you know, yeah, I'm writing a script. You think Rocky was good? I go, yeah, I think it was pretty good. Will you read mine? I go, okay. And it's like a rehash of
Right.
Rocky with a
Right.
different name.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of that. And of course I said, well, you know, keep your chin up, kid. Keep going, you know?
Do you find he's changed as a person? Like, I mean, everybody changes, but I mean, was he
Yeah.
less accessible to you? Was it tough for a while or no?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, you know,
That must have hurt. I mean,
yes, it
yeah,
did. You know, I
yeah.
mean, there's temptation everywhere. I mean, everyone is kissing your butt left and right. And then all of a sudden, these next two movies, which I thought were good, were bombs, Fist and Paradise Alley. So it
Mhm.
was all of a sudden, it's like, uh-oh, what did he
Right.
do? Rocky 2, huge movie. Then
Enormous.
he
Yeah.
had, after Rocky 2, he had a few more bombs, you know, like,
Billy D. Williams.
yeah, that was a good movie.
That was a good Nighthawks.
Nighthawks was a real,
Victory with John. I mean, it doesn't move with John Houston. You're like, well, that
yeah.
should work.
But they
Yeah.
weren't, but they didn't really ring. And then he
Hmm.
would come out, then Rocky 3. I said, well,
Rambo and yeah.
how many of you do with these goddamn things? Okay. So Rocky 3. And then after that, First Blood. And when we saw First Blood at home, he said, I have to buy this film back and destroy it because this is going to ruin my career. And I think the deal was, he goes, you have to let me go in and edit this thing because these guys didn't know what the hell they were doing.
Right.
That Anya and stuff. The one guy was a wig maker before, you know, and this
Yeah.
thing had been
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
a long time.
Yeah.
So Sly re-edited it, and then it was like one of the biggest movies of the year. So
Great
there's
movie. Yeah.
yeah, so there's like a lot of things, but you know, things kind of changed a bit. I mean, Rocky was a beautiful experience, but it was also for me it was a very sad experience because you know I go on these TV shows. You know,
Right.
I'm a musician.
Yeah.
What's it like being Rocky's brother? I said, well, okay, we've used the same urinal. What do you want to hear? You know, I mean, things
Yeah.
like
Right.
that.
Right.
So it was that kind of, and all of a sudden you realize they're really only talking to you because they wanted to know about him.
Yeah.
And so there was a bitterness, and then all of a sudden falling from grace, losing my record deal, you know. And but there were some fans that were still great that used to come see us when we were bands. When I was sitting there on a stool at the Ground Round in Pennsylvania, or the you know Quality Court Hotel, like sitting in a lounge playing. But besides that, I believed in myself and I really liked doing it. I
Yeah.
mean, a real step down from doing the Dinah Shore show to the ground round. I mean, that's like,
Yeah. Pretty humbling. Yeah.
yeah. And then it was humbling when I came out here. And then after Staying Alive came, I started doing movies, but I thought more would come of it. And
Hmm.
then I did my solo album, which I thought was really a good album, best foot effort. And that didn't do well. And I said, oh boy, here we go. Because I
Yeah.
thought after Staying Alive, the comparison thing would kind of drift away, but it never did. So I just accepted. I said, but I am who I am. I got to
Right.
change my name. I can't help it.
Well, that's the thing. It's almost like the weird part of it is like that's such that it's not like your last name's Smith.
No,
If it's Jones or something, but it's like Stallone. There's not many of
exactly.
those guys out there. I mean,
I'm
Stallones
reminded.
you've met in the wild. Probably not
Kirk, I'm
many.
reminded of it every day, like driving down the street yesterday, a
Yeah.
huge billboard, Tulsa
Tulsa
King.
King.
And I'm saying, this is funny. All my friends are in Tulsa King, but me.
Yeah. Why is he putting you in it?
I have no idea. I've asked him, I said,
Why? What the fuck?
I could be your cousin from like
Yeah.
Cleveland to come in and whack out guys or something. He goes, yeah, my brother died. I said, I know your brother died in the show. I said, your cousin. I said, if I put a mustache on, I look totally different. He says, well, I said, well, okay. So, but
I, I
listen,
just I just
guys that
want.
are in the movie, the
Yeah.
show are my friends,
Yeah.
James Russo and Frank Grillo. They're all good guys, and the
Yeah.
cast is great. But I just thought at this point in my life, more than anything, it would have been fun to be in the show.
Yeah. Just do a yeah. Because it
Yeah,
clearly like you're a big part of that reality show. Like
yeah.
clearly you guys get along, and this is where I
We,
I,
we
I
go
give you a
along.
lot of credit. Like it's sort of an egoless thing to be like, you know what? I love this guy. He's my brother. I love my nieces,
Yeah,
and
of
I want to spend
course.
time. Like I don't, you got to
Yeah.
live life.
I thought that was going to do better. That kind of went into the toilet.
Yeah. What
Family.
happened?
I don't know. I think because it was Paramount Plus,
Yeah.
they didn't really put much. I didn't do one interview for the show.
Oh, no
They didn't
promotion at
ask
all.
none. Not for me. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
they did talk shows, him and his wife and the girls, but not me at all. I wasn't. I said, okay, whatever. So I kind of roll with it, man.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of other interests. Of course, I love play music and I enjoy acting, but I have one. One of the most top boxing historians in the world, and
Yeah.
I have basically a museum in part of my home with stuff going back to 1887,
Yeah.
gloves and things. So that's this whole library and everything I have. So I have that, and I have my sports. I love to shoot trap
Yeah.
and things like that, shotgun sports, and I work out as much as I can. I had a fusion on my back, which came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I try to stay as busy as I can, but the only thing I think bothers me is that I'm not working at my craft because it's for some reason I don't know. Is it because I'm conservative? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe your boss should put me on to do the pizza tasting test with him.
Fuck, I'll talk to Dave. Yeah, no problem.
Say,
Yeah.
Dave, so you got a Jew and you have an Italian.
Yeah, it's a,
So it says point counterpoint.
yeah, can't miss. Yeah, you
Yeah, I go
can't.
for a Jewish guy, you think it's good pizza. Let me try it. For an
Exactly.
Italian guy, mezza
Yeah,
mess.
I'll put the word in.
It'd be fun. No,
Yeah, I'll tell him.
he's got a lot of stones, man, because those Italians take their pizza stuff pretty
Yeah,
serious.
no shit,
I'm
Dave. No
surprised
kidding.
he hasn't gotten attacked a few
Yeah,
places.
no kidding. I
Yeah.
just I just watched Barfly like I don't know, maybe a month ago.
Now, that was an interesting
You're
story.
good in it. Yeah, so
Thank you.
Barbe Schroeder and
Well,
Dunaway and Rourke.
yeah.
I mean, Jesus.
I'll tell you how that happened.
Yeah.
Mickey says, hey, I'm doing this. Everyone's doing a movie. So I'm doing this movie called Barfly. You'd be great as the bartender. I said, okay, great. You hear that all the time. Someone's
Yeah.
doing a movie. 6 months later, he goes, Frank, Mickey says, I want you to meet the director at the Old World restaurant. I
Hmm.
said, okay. So I meet him. I don't think he was that enamored with me, very German, like was und, this
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think he was into like the Berlin weird shit, kind of
Right.
like,
Right.
Fritz Lang and stuff.
Yeah.
So I met him, and Mickey goes, yeah, Bobby goes, yeah, I guess he's all right, or whatever. So then I had to go read for
Hmm.
the part with Fred Ruse and the people that were the producers.
That's Coppola's guy forever. Yeah.
Coppola's guy, yeah.
Yeah.
So I did the reading,
Uh-huh.
and then I found out I got the part. Now,
Hmm.
here's the weird thing.
Yeah.
So I earned it. They didn't give it to me. Mickey just suggested me. I mean, you
Mhm.
can't, no matter what. So I think a day before I'm ready to shoot, they come to Mickey, and Mickey is the kind of the rebel with a cause type guy, you know.
Yeah,
And they said, "Well, I think we're going another way. I think we're going to get someone else other than Frank." And Mickey said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, wait a second. You gave him the role, right? First of all, he's a friend. His brother's a friend. So you gave him the role, and now you're gonna all of a sudden do the Hollywood shtick and like, we're going a different direction." He goes, "If he's not on the set tomorrow, I'm walking off the movie." He says, "I don't like that bullshit," because he's had it done to him.
sure.
So I got to credit Mickey for that.
Yeah,
But I did read for it. I mean, it's not like
yeah.
I think I tell you a really funny story. This is how it works. So I did Barfly.
Uh-huh.
Again, it didn't do great when it came out. It was kind of dark. It's gotten
Good
more,
reviews. Kind of cult favorite now.
yeah, kind of a cult favor like
Yeah.
Rocky Horror
Did
Show.
you before you talk? Did you meet Bukowski or no?
I didn't even know who he was.
Oh,
You know,
okay,
I
yeah,
was more, yeah, as a
yeah,
poet, I'm thinking like Walt Whitman or,
right, yeah, because he wrote the yeah, 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 yeah,
Jack Kerouac. I'm not
yeah,
the, so anyway,
yeah,
I'm on the set and a lot of people are going, "Oh, Bukowski, this,
right,
some of his stuff." It's all right for me. But
yeah.
he was sitting at the bar was the whole time. I didn't know who he was. I talked to him a few times.
You just yeah,
Kind of a grumpy guy, you know.
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't really have too much to say.
yeah.
And so
But
when
go
Bar-
ahead, yeah.
so when Barfly comes out, they get a little heat, a little bit.
Hmm.
So this agency comes to me, and they're a pretty good sized agency. So I signed with them. You know, of course, they break the champagne. Oh, great, we're going to do great things. This is on a Friday, right?
Hmm.
Something comes across their desk Monday was a movie, something about the sea or something, My Brother the Star.
Hmm.
And there's a character like six, seven down of his brother.
Hmm. Yeah.
They call the casting agent and they say, "Hey, how you doing, Mindy? Blah, 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 blah." Small talk. By the way, we signed Frank Stallone um, Friday. He's our new client. And I see in the role, there's a role there for Sylvester's brother. And then there's like silence on the other end. Yeah, hello? We're there, we're handling Frank. There's a part for,
Yeah.
and she goes like, I don't know. I don't see it. Never, okay. Friday to Monday, never heard from the agent again.
Oh
They said,
Jesus.
if we can't sell Frank, the Sly
So,
brother, we're done.
can I,
So
can I ask? So I have brothers. Can I ask you, like, do you at that point in your life, do you want to pick up the phone and call him, or do you feel like you can't do that? Just as a brother
yeah,
to
it's
brother.
kind of uncomfortable with that.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
kind of
get that.
uncomfortable with that. And he didn't even know that my agency was calling.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then there was another movie coming out. He sent me a script that he was going to do, and I thought there was a cool role, and it was funny. It's like Italian gangster, almost kind of like and analyze this.
Yep.
So he says, "Well, hey, listen, Frank, you got to meet Billy Freakin." So
Yeah.
I met Billy Freakin at Mateo's. We talked, and I ran some lines with him. Billy Freakin, great director, right? He
Legendary.
was
Yeah.
actually very nice to me, very nice. He goes, "Yeah, I have no problem with it. You being in the movie is great." Of course, the movie never got made, so that's
Yeah.
another one.
Right.
And then from there, I did Hudson Hawk. But I
Yep.
always
Yeah.
uh, I auditioned. I mean, I didn't get any of them unless it was like just an offer for the movie. Hey, we're doing this movie, so Frank does
Anything you got close to that we would know? Anything that you were?
well. Tombstone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tombstone. Well, Tombstone I did, and that was an accident.
Well, you're in that. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
You're
that
in
was
that.
an
Yes. Yeah.
accident. I was at Billy Zane had this really old school, great apartment, big, I think it was the El Royale or something. And he was having a party there. And at that point, my hair was long. I had a beard and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I'm sitting there in the kitchen just drinking, smoking my cigarettes in those days. And
Yeah.
there's another guy kind of looks like me, and he's kind of a misanthrope too, as far as the rest of the Hollywood scene. And we sit there and start talking. I start talking about Western gunfighters and
Hmm.
Western cowboys because I have a whole library on it.
Yeah.
And then he starts coming back saying, "Yeah, man, well, how about long hair Jim Courtwright?" So we start talking about Western outlaws, cowboys at a Hollywood party, sitting like on the floor in this kitchen,
Hmm.
smoking cigarettes and drinking. A year or plus later, I forget who my agent was. They called. They said, "Listen, you got a part in this Western about some guy named Wyatt Earp." I go, "Really? Are you serious?" They go, "Yeah." I said, "Well, where do I go read?" She goes, "You don't have to read. You have the part." I said, "What? You mean I have the part? I don't have to read?"
Right.
Yeah. I go, "Well, how'd that happen?" Well, the director and writer of it said he met you at a party and you were sitting on the floor talking about Westerns. It was Kevin Carr, the writer and director of the movie.
Yeah.
So he just liked me, and I guess he wrote this character of Ed Bailey, and that's how I got the part. Now those kind of things I like. That's not a lot of work put into it, auditioning.
That was so that's sort of famously for a great movie, and obviously Kurt Russell and Kilmer, and
Oh yeah,
it's
I
a
thought Kilmer should have been won
oh,
the best supporting actor, and I thought
unbelievable,
brilliant.
unbelievable in that
I
movie.
thought he was brilliant in the movie. I thought he was great in everything, but I thought that
Doors,
he was
yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
but they replaced the rumors that they replaced the director and that Russell was very hands on.
What happened?
It was replaced by the guy who directed
Yeah, George Cosmatos.
First Blood, right? Or no?
Yeah, but what
Yeah,
happened was
yeah.
Kevin had not directed before, and Kevin wrote Glory. Kevin was a great writer.
Right. That's right. He wrote Glory. Yeah, yeah.
He spent like 3 or 4 years doing research on Tombstone,
Mhm.
research, everything. He wrote it. The script is just brilliant, but he never directed. So he started directing, and for some reason, the DPs, the directors of photography, are going, "Well, we can't match anything up here. The way he's shooting these things, we don't know how we can tie it together." So it went on for a few weeks, and sadly, Kevin was released, and he wrote it and directed it,
Mhm.
and he was released, and they brought, and my first day of shooting was the first day George Cosmatos was brought in as
Oh,
director, and he
yeah.
knew nothing about Western. He was a Greek. Frank, how you doing, my friend? Coffee smoking. Yeah, okay, do this. He had this stupid cowboy hat on that didn't fit, looked like Woody,
Right.
Toy Story.
Toy Story. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but he liked me, and that's how I started. And he was so funny. He was
Yeah.
real Greek from the old country. He goes, "Okay, where is the girl with the big tits? Okay, you, when we do scene, big tits, you come through the scene." I go, and we're going like, "Oh shit, let's say that."
But it worked.
I know, but
I
you
don't.
imagine
How did it happen? Yeah.
if you did that in Hollywood,
Oh no, your
"Hey,
life would be.
you,"
Yeah, yeah,
not
yeah.
even her name, "You, big
Big
tits, you come
tits. Yeah, that
through,
doesn't
yeah, you
work.
come through the scene, and you do." And we found out later on the girl's father was like lieutenant governor of
Oh,
Arizona.
Jesus
It was like
Christ.
a favor putting her in the movie. And we were sitting there going, "Oh my God." I mean, but he was a European, Greek, hot-blooded, funny guy, a great
Yeah,
guy. I liked him a lot. And just a character, one of
yeah.
the old-time director characters. So I did the movie and it just got, well, it's considered like in the top 10, 15 great Westerns of all
Oh,
time.
it's a great. It's by far the better of the two Wyatt Earp movies that year too.
Yeah.
I mean, blew
Well,
the
yeah,
Costner one away.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was an honor to be in that movie. And then I did Hudson Hawk, and then I
Mhm.
did Fred Claus playing myself.
Oh yeah, that's right, right, right.
And
What was
yeah,
it? What was it like working with Dennis Hopper?
oh, great, man.
He was good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Of course, I was picking his brain about James Dean all the time.
Oh right. Yeah.
Because I think Dennis Hopper's greatest scene was in Apocalypse Now when he has like
Oh,
40 cameras around his neck and he's talking through the bars. He goes, "Hey, man. The
he's
man's
all. Yeah.
genius, man. Is he crazy, man?" And
Right.
because he said, "Frank, I was high on acid,
He looked it.
at the same time, and
Yeah.
alcohol.
Yeah.
But when I did a movie with him, he was cleaned up, but he was a great guy. And
Yeah.
I said, "Let me ask you something. I mean, I'm not gonna bug you about James Dean anymore. I just want to ask something. Do you think if James Dean would have lived this mystique that we have?" He goes, "No, Frank, he was great. He was great. He would have been like Montgomery Clift, or he would have been like, he's James Dean. I mean, he
Yeah.
did 3 movies in his life, and they're all classics."
Yeah. I wonder about that. My generation. He's not James Dean, but like with River Phoenix, like when he died, I'm like, what would he be doing now? Like
I
what?
don't know. I don't think he was like as iconic as
No, I
James.
know. I totally agree. But I'm just saying
I
when
don't
guys
know.
die young like that, it's
He probably would have. He might have gone on to great things. But I've
yeah,
lost a few friends like Michael Madsen,
Yeah, sad.
outside more.
Yeah.
You know what happens, man, when they get into this drug and alcohol bit, it just
You never fell in that trap in the 80s or
no. I
yeah,
used to drink, but not. I was never like Gary Oldman. Supposedly was a heavy. Him and Kiefer Sutherland were
right.
heavy drinkers. I
Yeah.
don't know about the other stuff. No, I was more of a social drinker. I mean, of course, have I gotten smashed a few times? Yeah, but I just was never. I was never like a drug guy. I didn't think I had the nervous system for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just didn't work for me. I always wanted to kind of look good, and when I go on stage, I wanted to be. I always had that professionalism kind
Yeah.
of knocked into my head at a young time. I remember having dinner with Frank Sinatra, and he told me, he said, one thing, never insult your audience, meaning be a pro. You come out, you do your show, they paid good money, and you give it your all.
Right.
I never forgot that, and then from there, I started to open for Don Rickles with my band.
Oh, one of my favorites. He's the
Yeah, and
greatest.
Don was from that era.
Yeah.
So no matter what, I remember one night I was so sick, they had to take me from my house to the gig and laying flat in the station wagon in the back. I was so sick. Either it was a stomach flu or virus. I said, "Oh God!" But I knew I had to do the gig because if I didn't do the gig, that'd be it with
Right.
me and Don Rickles. So I'm backstage. Usually I have people backstage gabbing, all stuff like this. And all of a sudden, somehow I got dressed, and they said, "Frank, okay, yeah, 10 minutes." And all of a sudden, I walked to the side stage, and when I hit the stage, it's like everything went away.
Yeah.
Don came back, and like the last 2 minutes of my show, Don would be off stage, sitting on a stool watching the
Hmm.
show, and then
Hmm.
be his cue. And when you do casinos, it's not like 5 minutes, 10 minutes late. It's like boom, boom.
Yeah. Yep.
And he goes, Frank, that was a great show. Always people go, that was one of the best shows. I went back to my dressing room, kind of collapsed. And it just was a thing, the old motto, the show must go on.
Yeah. Yeah.
The show must go on. And it was really funny because for a minute, I had the same manager as Frank Sinatra, Elliot. And Frank was celebrating, I think, his 70th or 75th birthday at the Meadowlands, which is
Hmm.
80,000 people.
Yeah.
Big spiel about this. He was deathly sick. I think he had the virus or something. I mean, deathly sick. The doctor said, absolutely, you cannot do this show at the Meadowlands. And he goes, no, I'm doing the show. He goes, you might die. That's how sick he was. They got him to the Meadowlands. It was like 70,000 people there for his 75th birthday, and he was it started off a little shaky, and
Hmm.
then that muscle memory kicked into gear, and he did the show. And I said, well, that says it all.
Right.
That's why he's Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
why. Yeah, I mean, so when I hear these other rock bands, oh man, I can't go on, I got a hangnail or something. No,
Right.
man.
Right.
Look at the Allman Brothers. No one worked harder than them. I mean, they just went on with no matter what.
Rickles was wild. Like, I loved him, but like he would just didn't have like a set. Like he would just go and insult people for
Oh
an
yeah,
hour. It's like he
yeah.
was. But I imagine everyone says a very nice guy.
He was nice. He was a
Yeah.
very nice guy. And when he was old at that time, he'd still go on. I mean, I saw George Burns go
Yeah.
on Harris at 95 years old.
It's unbelievable.
Didn't miss an hour five, hour 10, didn't miss a beat. Perfect, funny. Then I went back to his dressing room. He was wearing a flannel shirt. He looked like a 95-year-old guy.
Right. But on stage,
But when
he's
he was on
alive. Yeah.
stage, yeah, it was a little bit of that Benjamin Button or Dorian Gray thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, I mean, so my motto was I always wanted to be I was never money driven. I mean, of course, I'd like money to me was just freedom. I was
Yeah.
not one of these guys that was like, money, like Gene Simmons. I mean, kisses.
Right. Selling everything. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was never money driven. I was always art driven. I just wanted to be good. It meant more to me with an artist that I knew
Hmm.
that I really admired says, Frank, that was great. Great show, man. That was wonderful.
Yeah.
You played really good, man. That means more to me than anything.
I'll tell you where you sounded great. And I'm not Frank Sinatra, so this won't mean as much to you as Frank Sinatra. But that cut of you at Daryl Hall's house singing "Take You Back" with that
Oh,
band is fucking. I just watched it again today. I've watched it like 20 times. That's
it's
like
funny.
that's great.
I met Daryl in 1968 because we needed a piano player, and he was playing with a band I think called Powell and the Prophets, and they were making good money as a bar band. We were like doing our own music,
This is in Pennsylvania, or
Philadelphia,
yeah,
practicing in the basement. We weren't
yeah,
making any money, maybe $30 a night. And
right.
he goes, "Man, you guys sound great." He came to the rehearsal. I remember him sitting on the steps watching us. But he goes, I'm getting married. I have this band. I think he was a senior in college. A year and a half later, we needed a lead guitar player. And the guy goes, I know this guy, John Oates, man. He's just knocking around town. He came to audition for the group and he was great. And so John Oates was my lead guitar player.
Oh, is that true?
Absolutely
That's
100% true.
wild. So when does at what point does he leave you to form?
Well, he was in his last year of college at Temple University,
Yeah.
and he was his last year in Temple University,
Hmm.
and he was going to do like what college people do, travel Europe,
Yeah. Go backpack. Yeah.
backpack, yeah. And that's what he was going to do. And he did that. He left the band, and him and Daryl were good friends. They were roommates. And then a few years later, they started a group called Hall and Oates,
Yeah.
and that's what they did. Oh, so that was kind of fun. And John always was a wonderful guy. Daryl's a nice guy, but John's a very warm, very nice person, and very underrated. When it comes to the Hall and Oates thing.
Yeah, because he's not the lead. Nobody ever thinks of him because he's not the lead
Yeah, but he
singer.
was
Yeah.
he was a good player, good guitar player.
Good voice too.
Yeah, you saw him in my documentary.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
He said,
Too bad what happened with them.
"Yeah, 50 years though, and
Yeah. Kind
pop
of like Big
stuff."
Brother. It's too bad with like Erwin Winkler and stuff like that. It's just kind of, it's too bad, you know?
Yeah, it just goes. Yeah,
Right.
John's a wonderful guy, very, I think, underappreciated of what he contributes, and he's very talented. And so now I'm just the COVID thing kind of slowed everything down. I think it pushed us back 5 years because for that time the casinos almost went,
Right.
didn't have
Right.
money, and now they're not paying. So it's I do movies here and there, but thank God, I kind of saved my money. I
Hmm.
wasn't like crazy flamboyant buying these stupid things. So I'm very grateful. I have a lot of gratitude for what I have. I don't need the biggest house on the block. I don't need the Rolls Royce. I don't need that stuff.
Yeah.
I still have my 93 Bronco since it was
There you
brand
go.
new.
Smart.
It's
Do you still do shows?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You toured with, I was going to go see, but you were with John Cafferty a couple of years ago.
Yeah, in Atlantic
Yeah.
City. It was
Yeah. I
fun.
love
Where are
favorite.
you out of?
I'm right outside of Boston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great show. John's really dynamic, really good guy, man. And yeah, that was a cool show because it's kind of we're from the same era,
Yeah.
so it's kind of the same audience. I'm planning on doing a show with a tour with Michael Cimbello. He wrote and
Oh, of
sang.
course.
Yeah,
Maniac and Michael
yeah,
Jackson stuff too. He wrote.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's a dear, dear friend. So we're gonna do a show, Stallone Cimbello,
Oh,
which is
nice.
fun because we can use the same band. He can use my band. We just learned we don't. So I'm like one of the guys. I don't. We like my riders maybe a
Right.
paragraph like
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
other groups have. I said, "What's the biggest rider you've ever seen for your audience? A rider is like what the band needs,
Sure.
equipment." He
Yeah.
said, "Sometimes 30." I said, 30, 40 pages? All I need is just give me the mics, give me the amp I need, give me this and the mic, and we go.
Yeah.
These
It's
other
funny.
guys they want caviar, they want
Right.
shrimps, they want this, they want, all this
So
dancing girls, whatever. Yeah.
we've done a few, my podcast, this is, but we have a different podcast that we do. I've done a few shows in theaters, like, 1,500 seats or whatever. And we get asked that. And I'm like, I guess I'll just have like a bag of pretzels. I feel like an idiot not asking for anything. I'm
Yeah.
fine. Is there a couch and like some water and a
Yeah,
Coke
yeah.
maybe? I don't,
I'm there to play.
I'm
I'm
like
not
Eddie
there.
Van Halen, the
No, I
famous
don't need all
Eminem
those.
story.
I don't need
Yeah.
all those accoutrements. I just want to sound good.
Michael
And
Cimbello could have easily sang Far From Over.
oh yeah. Oh my.
You guys had the same voice, kind of the same, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well,
Yeah.
at 17 years old, he was playing with Stevie Wonder.
I know, crazy. So
So
are you gonna come out here with that or no?
I would hope to. Yeah.
I'm going to that for
Now
sure.
you don't have the House of Blues in Boston anymore, do
We
you?
do. Yeah, we still
The
do.
little one.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like how big is that? We just did that's where we did the trivia, right? I just did a show there for Barstool a couple months ago, right,
Yeah.
Justin?
It's not that
Yeah.
big.
No, but it's a good.
It's
That's
a
a
nice one though.
yeah. That's a good place to do a show.
We had the best one out here. It was so big and beautiful, and they tore it down a few years ago. It was really sad. I
Which
mean,
one?
House of Blues.
Oh, the House of Blues out there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was huge, man. We
2,400
had
people.
2,400. My producers told me in Boston for that one.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was at the one in Boston. I was at the one in Chicago.
yeah,
And yeah, there's just so sad this one broke down. It was really a
yeah.
great venue, man.
What am I getting? So you come out to Boston, which I would definitely go. I'm going to that if you come out here or
Oh,
wherever
you
East
just
Coast.
let me know, man, Kirk.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just put you in, man. You
What's
come.
the what's a Frank Stallone? What am I getting? What am I getting? A little
Well,
tour through the years or?
yeah, what I
Yeah,
do, as you know, I did some big band albums that
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
very proud of. So basically, I do all the songs you've heard in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
I do like 5 or 6 songs from Staying Alive. Of course, I do Take You Back.
Yep,
I do the theme I wrote for Rambo, Peace in Our Life.
yep.
I do a few blues things,
Mm-hmm.
and then I do it's a pretty eclectic show, but over the years we seem to weave it in where it works. Like you would think big band and
Right,
then rock music.
right.
But I my theory is that if you like music, if you're a music lover, then you like kind of all kinds of music.
Totally.
I don't.
Yeah.
So I'm not just kind of a one tool guy. I kind of mix it up. But it took a few years to kind of juxtapose it. Where it would work.
Well, there's certain like my son's 13. He was just listening to music the other day. I said, "What are you listening to?" He said, "Oh, it was Summer Wind."
Oh, great.
There's like certain songs that are just timeless, like a Black
Yeah.
Cocktail Dress. They always work.
Yeah. I mean, Stairway to Heaven will be here a
Right.
hundred years.
American Pie, or yeah,
American Pie, yeah, or Joe Cocker's "You Are So Beautiful," or
right.
Tears for Fears,
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
songs that
This,
are just iconic. The first time you hear it, you go, "Well, this is a hit."
yeah. So yeah, yeah. It's the first time I heard like When Doves Cry. I thought, well, I've never heard. I was 10. I was like, I've never heard something like this before in my
Yeah,
life.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
He
yeah.
was I don't get what's going on at the Super Bowl. This guy that's coming in, I don't even know who he is,
Bad
but
Bunny.
I have no idea who he is.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know the extra. I know you're conservative, which is great. I'm
Why
kind of
not
in the
rock and
middle.
roll? I remember the halftime they had.
Yeah,
I remember once they had Metallica, they had Prince, they had Aerosmith, they had
yeah,
Springsteen.
yeah.
But now it seems like it's these production shows, like more of these hip hop
Well, I
acts.
think they're just going for like international audience now. Like Bad Bunny, I don't know a single Bad Bunny song, but he's a huge star. He plays like
How do you
football
know who he is?
stadiums. Yeah, I
If
have
you
no
ask me,
clue.
I listen to some of the when I go to the gym, these stations,
Yeah,
these girl singers.
no
I
idea. Taylor Swift, no.
Well, maybe her. I've never really listened to her much,
Same.
but
Yeah,
all these other groups like Carly B's, Benaj, they all sound the same to
I'm
me.
with you. I don't know what the
But
fuck is
I'm
going
from
on.
the era where I knew you could tell who Tina Turner was, Aretha Franklin was. Uh,
Oh, even for me, like Cyndi Lauper. Like I know it's a little
Whitney
later, but like
Houston.
yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, you knew it.
unique
Now
voices.
the
Yeah,
music, because of the production, it's almost like country music. It all kind of sounds the
I
same. You
totally
get
agree
like
with that. And people get
George
mad at
Strait,
me. Yep. Yeah. Nobody sounds like Johnny Cash anymore,
no, or
or
Merle
Willie
Haggard,
Nelson, or yeah, yeah.
Helen Will. Yeah, but
Christopherson even. Yeah.
it's all kind of little more overproduced. It's not really country. It's country music, but it's not. I mean, I can't tell the difference from Jason Aldean and all these. They all kind
Luke
of,
Bryan, or yeah,
yeah, they
right.
all kind of sound the same, but there's
Yeah.
it's like
Homogenized. A little bit of
homogenous.
like yeah, it's
Yeah,
like it all kind of yeah. Yeah. No,
yeah. I
yeah, I
mean,
get that.
yeah. I mean, but the thing is, what I'm saying in the old days, you knew the second you heard Mick Jagger, you knew it was the Stones, or you
For
knew it was
sure.
the Beatles, or you knew it was the Who, or the band,
Don
or
Henley with the
that.
Eagles or something. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think music has become very homogenized. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's also just like I grew up in the early 80s when I really started listening to the top 40 and stuff. And I
Yeah.
knew right away, oh, this is the Cars.
Or the
Oh,
group Boston.
yeah, Boston, yeah, or Bruce Springsteen or who
Yeah, yeah,
now
yeah,
it's
yeah.
now I don't know what, but I'm old, so I don't know what the
But I still love like Oasis. I think they're great.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
But
glad they're back together.
yeah, me too. I mean, I think they're great. I think they're a little crazy, but so what? It's
Yeah,
rock
they're
and roll, right? But the thing is, there's some groups that just linearly. Like the Stones are like forever. And I tell people,
Unbelievable.
if your kids or you have never seen the Stones, you better go before they die. I mean, there's only like two original guys left.
Yeah,
Jagger, Richards. I mean, of course, Ronnie Wood's been with them for a while,
forever. Yeah.
but I saw him when it was the whole group, the original group, Charlie Watts. I saw the Who, the original Who with Keith Moon. I saw all those groups that were the original bands. And
Did you
it
see the
was,
Doors or no?
you know what? I was going to see the Doors. And I got to tell you, that's another song. I remember 1967 driving with my friend. All of a sudden, Light My Fire comes on. I go,
Right.
whoa, whoa, stop the car.
Right.
That immediate hit record.
Yeah.
Immediate. I
Yeah.
mean, I said, okay, what's this? And I think Jim Morrison, I think the Doors are one of the greatest bands ever because they were totally original. They didn't sound like anybody.
Yeah. And they were a great bar band too, and they wanted to be a bar band.
Yeah, like you
Like
listen to
Roadhouse Blues
Steely
and
Dan.
yeah.
Steely Dan doesn't sound like anybody. They're
No.
totally unique. I think they're a brilliant group
Right. Yeah.
and things like that. So, but I think I just come from a different era, and I don't want to sound like my parents going, "Oh, are you playing that goddamn music?"
That's the thing. Yeah.
I don't want to sound like that, but I came up when guys were like real musicians. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
played and sang guitar. It wasn't production. Like these acts that are out now, these some of these hip hop acts and like Taylor Swift, it's major
Mhm.
production. When
Yeah.
I was coming up, they would have been laughed off the stage because it would seem like a lounge act.
Right.
We were
But
into like, MC5,
yeah.
groups like that, rough group, I mean, like rock and
Well,
roll
I
bands.
I feel that way about actors, honestly, too. Like when I grew up, like movie stars could look like Jack Nicholson and Dustin Hoffman
Gene
and
Hackman.
Gene Hackman, my favorite actor ever, Gene Hackman.
Oh
Even
yeah.
your brother, not a classically
Gene
like.
was a great guy.
Oh,
I've
you
met,
knew him? Yeah.
oh yeah, I've met Gene many times and Clint.
How did
Just
you know
really
Gene?
nice
What?
guys.
Yeah. He
Well, I'd
was?
see Gene Hackman at the fights all the time. He's just like a regular,
Yeah.
he's just a big guy, a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Like Robert Duvall. They're just like regular
That's
cool
what I
guys.
mean. Those guys, they don't.
Great
Those
guy.
now guys are movie stars look like Glenn Powell. They're fine. They're good actors, but they don't look
No,
like De Niro, Pacino.
there's no John Wayne or Gary
No.
Cooper or those
Or
guys.
Gene Hackman,
Or Gene
just like,
Hackman.
yeah,
No,
you know.
it's a different era.
But yeah, so anyway, great to have. Hopefully, we'll have you on again. You're
I would
welcome.
love to,
You're
man.
welcome here anytime.
And tell Dan, is it Dan?
Dave.
Dave, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Tell Dave if he needs another opinion on the pizza eating.
I'm on
My
it.
stepfather, that's what he was in
Oh, really?
the business, the
Yeah,
pizza
yeah,
supply business. So
yeah,
and my father's from Italy, so I mean, I grew up. I can tell.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
last question
it's
is a
like
bot
point
is a
counterpoint. What? Go
yeah.
ahead.
I'm in. I'll tell Dave. Last question was a Boston kid growing up
Okay.
in the '80s. Hagler beat Leonard, right? You agree with me on that one?
Oh, I got to tell you, when I watched the fight, I knew what was going to happen.
Stealing
Hagler,
the rounds.
yes,
Yeah,
Hagler to me, I saw Hagler fight in Philadelphia when he was nobody.
yeah,
And he came in everyone's backyard and fought the toughest middleweights nobody would
yeah.
fight.
He had nobody would fight him, right?
Billy the Worm Monroe,
Yeah,
Boogaloo Watts, Benny Briscoe, Cyclone. Four middleweights that nobody wanted to fight, and they were great in
yeah,
Philadelphia. And he came there and he beat them. He lost, and then he came back and beat them all. I think what happened with Marvin, he really wanted that payday, to end his career. And then when Ray retired, it kind of, took the wind out of his sails.
yeah.
But Hagler, to me, is an all-time great middleweight in any era. Any era, I think he would have knocked out Monzon.
The
I
best
think,
I ever saw. Me anyway.
yes,
Yeah, yeah,
right. But I think what happened, Ray goes, so I got to give Ray credit. He hadn't fought in 4 years.
yeah. It's crazy. People thought
Okay, and he comes
yeah,
back, he says, okay, we have to use thumbless gloves. And I understand because Ray had detached retina.
the eye thing. Yeah.
Need a 22-foot ring.
Oh yeah.
And
He dictated the whole thing. Hagler just
he
went with it.
goes 12 rounds instead of 15. Now you have to understand, Marvin's a 15-round fighter.
Right.
After the 11th round, that's when he came on. Those are the championship rounds because he
Yeah.
had endurance. And if you watch the fight, and I asked Goody Petronelli, his trainer, I go,
Yeah.
why did Marvin come out fighting right-handed? He goes, I don't know. I think he was so sure that he would knock the stuffing out of Ray Leonard that I know he trained because he looked good.
Yeah.
But Ray, I said, Ray's going to steal the first 20 seconds and the last 30
That's
seconds of
that's
every
what
round.
right. Every round.
And he was catching Marvin with shots. I don't think he was hurting him, but I talked to Ray. He goes, the last round, I'm starting to get tired. I'm happy it wasn't 15
Yeah.
because that's when the weight and the size and the power come on. And that's when Marvin really turned it on the last 3 rounds. So Ray goes, yeah, man, I'm happy it didn't go 15 rounds. But listen, Marvin got like 10, $12 million.
He
And Marvin,
retired. Made his
yeah,
movies.
and he was very frugal. He had his money and he was a very personable, nice guy.
Yeah.
I
Oh
like him.
yeah.
I think he's one of the all-time great middleweights ever in any era. And I usually don't like modern fighters compared to fighters that had like 220 fights.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
But I put him up there with any middleweight that ever lived.
You know, boxing up and down, I can tell. Like, did your brother pick your brain like as the
Yeah,
series
all
went
the time,
on?
all
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
time,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
time. And I'm
Okay.
happy to talk about it.
Yeah. Good. Well, we'll get you on again. And yeah, I mean, yeah,
Anytime, Kirk. I
yeah,
thank you
great.
so
No,
much, man.
thank you so
Let,
much, Frank.
let me know when it airs.
I will. Yeah, I definitely will. I'll text you. Thanks so much again.
Hey, God bless, man.
All
Have a
right. You
good
too.
day.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Frank. Have a good day. Appreciate
Bye-bye.
it.